Hey guys, so have you ever wondered what the difference is between a $50 and a $500 watch? Well, today we are going to explore the differences between this $50 Orient quartz watch and this $500 Seiko automatic watch. So if that's interesting to you, let us move right on into a in-depth comparison. I'm gonna switch up the camera angles and I will see you guys in one quick cut. Alright, hello guys and welcome back. Today we have two watches to compare for you. We have a quartz Orient piece and a Seiko automatic piece here. Now this Orient is the $50 watch and the Seiko is the $500 watch. And before I get right on into the comparison of these two pieces, I want to say that there will be links in the description down below this video to purchase either one of these watches. So if either of them call to you, definitely check out those links below. So let me just start by getting you an up-close look of the Orient piece. Please excuse my shaky hands. I am not a jeweler by profession, so my hands do shake from time to time. Let me get this up here for you. The SARB065 here. Beautiful piece, very iconic design on the SARB065. Personally, I'm not a big fan of this watch. I have a review of the watch on the channel, so if you want to take a look at that, definitely do. But I do think it is a pretty nice design either way. So let us talk about the differences between these two watches and let's get right on into it. So obviously this Orient is a quartz piece. So what that means is that there isn't a whole lot of machinery in this watch. There's basically just a battery and probably a PCB and a few gears. And what you get because of this is that it is a extremely low-priced watch. It's $50. So if you're new to watches, that might sound like a lot of money, but watches can cost up to house level. You could buy a house for the cost of some watches. So this really keeps the price low, and you do get what I think is a pretty nice design for your $50. So with the quartz movement as well, it's also extremely accurate. You don't have to wind the watch. It just keeps going until the battery needs to be replaced. I'm telling you, those sirens outside my window are gonna kill me. Okay, so another thing you get with the watch that you don't get with the SARB is that you can actually see the day right next to the date on this watch, which is cool in case you forget what day of the week it is, or if you just want to know if that's something that you want on the watch itself. Another thing that you'll get because of the quartz movement is the thinness of the watch. So I'm not sure if you can see this, but this watch is extremely thin. Now, when you're talking about dress watches, which both of these watches are dress watches, thinness actually matters, because when you're wearing a tight suit or a tight dress shirt, you want it to be able to fit underneath the shirt cuff without you having to worry about it. So this is much, much thinner than the SARB. Let me hold up both of these for comparison. They are this Orient is much thinner than the SARB, but that's because the SARB actually has a whole lot of machinery in here that I'm gonna show you in just a second. And that's what makes the SARB065 from Seiko a much wider watch. So one other thing you'll notice about these watches is they have much different straps. This one is leather, as is this one, but personally I like the strap of the Orient a little bit better, which is kind of crazy. You can change the strap on this watch though, the Seiko. if you have a special tool. So basically your strap options are limitless on this watch, and I'm pretty sure you can't actually change the strap on the Orient. So that is one of the things that your extra money is getting you with this watch. But to most people, that would not be worth the price justification alone. So let me begin to talk about why the Seiko SARB065 does actually justify its price difference. So let me flip around the back here. You can actually see all of the mechanisms and the gears of the watch. Let me bring this a little bit closer here. So there is a whole bunch of gears and spinny machinery in here. All of the hardcore watch fans on my channel are probably laughing right now, because that's a bit of an oversimplification. But basically what this allows you to do is it allows you to have a really cool, precise machine on your wrist, because as you may know, telling time is a game of being precise, and you don't want your watch to be off. So it's actually incredibly hard to make these movements accurate. So one thing that I actually really admire about this watch is that it is the most accurate automatic watch in my entire collection. This watch only gains about 3/4 of a second per day, which is kind of unheard of for automatic watches. This watch, on the other hand, gains a few seconds per month, but that's because you know, electrical systems are generally more precise than mechanical systems. So this is kind of what took the world by storm. This is kind of the newest and greatest technology, but this is completely machined. This is completely assembled by a machine. There's no real human touch on it, except for in the design process, obviously. On the other hand, the Seiko, all of the parts in this watch are machined, but somebody actually sat there and put on the finishing touches. So let's take a look for a second at the indices of the watch. So this Orient watch, if you look really, really closely, and I'll bring it kind of close to the camera, I'm not sure how much closer I could actually bring it, but a few of the indices are actually off a little bit, and if you look really, really closely, the second hand actually doesn't quite line up with the markers on the outer ring of the dial. This is something that would never happen with the Seiko watches, and it actually doesn't, because this is hand finished. So what that means is somebody actually sat and placed all of these indices on the dial, and if they made a mistake, they threw away the dial and they started over again. They also sat there and calibrated the hand so that it lined up exactly with the outer markings on the outer edge of the dial. So you are getting something that is more precisely made, and this watch actually has quite a backstory on the design. A famous bartender from Japan actually designed the dial in collaboration with Seiko, and that's why you get kind of this sunburst effect. I'm going to try and move it around in the light a little bit so you can see. It has a sunburst effect, whereas this is just kind of like a cream color. If you look even closer on this, again, I'm not sure how far I can bring it up, but what you see, the white on the day and date window do not match the white and or cream color on the dial. Now this is probably done by design on the Orient side, but on the Seiko they more closely are aligned, and actually they're not really meant to be aligned, because this Seiko dial has a bit of a bluish tint while the date has just a pure white. The other thing you'll notice is that the day window is also a little bit better aligned on the Seiko. So already you can kind of see a big difference between you know, the level of craftsmanship that went into the Seiko. And that's really what more expensive watches are all about. It's not necessarily about telling the time, because you have a phone that can tell the time, right? You don't actually need any of these pieces. You don't need to buy any of this stuff, right? You can tell the time without it. But you're wearing it because it is a piece of craftsmanship. You're wearing it because it is a part of your fashion, or because you like the machinery in the back of the case, right? Not all of these mechanical watches you can see the back of the case, but I chose one so that you can see it. So if you are interested in having a really well-engineered piece of art on your wrist, then that is why you would pay 10 times the price of the Orient to go for the Seiko. So there isn't really a whole lot left to talk about. The watches do the exact same thing. This is just 10 times more expensive than the Orient. And there are watches out there that cost thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, as I said in the beginning. But really, wearing a wristwatch is all about expressing your style and really wearing a piece of art on your wrist. Now, this does get the job done, and it actually looks pretty nice, given the price. But this watch really is a piece of art, and other people who appreciate watches will notice the difference between this quartz Orient piece and the automatic Seiko. So if you want more watch videos like this, definitely check out my channel. If you're new to watch collecting, hit that subscribe button, because there's a whole bunch of content on here about collecting watches. If you're an old subscriber returning to the channel, I know this might have been a bit of an oversimplification, but thank you for bearing with me. My name is Josh, and I will see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.